Well, I had transferred down here to help open DFW for American and came in on the first American flight to DFW, passenger flight. Captain could not find the terminal. We ended up parking over at the hangar and had DPS had to come and escort us to the terminal. So we were met by everybody from the airport board and from American, all the big shots. One of the American supervisors handed me my keys and says, "You're on the clock at 5 o'clock. This is 1 o'clock in the morning. We had no idea where anything was. It was humongous. Just the size of the property itself. DFW was an anomaly. It was, New York was the big city. LA was the big city. And we had 68 flights a day. Only international flights from Mexico City and Acapulco. Braniff was the major carrier at DFW at the time. Everybody was dressed up. Women wore dresses and white gloves and hats. Men had ties on. I worked the ticket counter, gates, customs. I was in charge of employee safety at DFW for passenger service. It was fun. We became family. A lot of us, we came from other cities and we had families out of town. So when you had to work a holiday, you weren't with your family. You were with the airport, and we became one big family, and to this day, we're still all family, those of us that are still around.
Welcome to DFW.
Every groundbreaking idea starts with people who dream boldly, with the courage to imagine what's next. Like the visionaries who saw pastures between two cities and envisioned a gateway to possibilities and made the vision real. Now, Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport is reimagining what an airport can be, becoming one of the world's best, and not just a stop on the way to your destination, but a destination itself. A global super hub, connecting DFW to the world and the world to DFW. We envision an airport where the people, services, and amenities make you feel welcome, where you can recharge and never miss a beat. A place that mixes local flavor and the flavors of the world in equal portions. Where that unexpected escape awaits to make your travel more fulfilling. A place where your departure begins before ever leaving the ground. It's a bold vision for an airport. We're passionate about making it real every day. And excited about being a part of your journey. Welcome to new beginnings. Welcome to what's next. Welcome to DFW International Airport. Travel transformed.
So DFW was originally a concept that came together from the cities of Dallas and Fort Worth, and it was built and started operations in 1974. We are one of the busiest airports in the world. We have 7 runways, 24-hour operations for takeoffs and landings.
DFW has an infrastructure that is comprised of 133 landside bridges, 12 airside bridges, and 1,288 lane miles of road. That's the distance between DFW Metroplex and San Diego, California.
DFW has service to 260 destinations from 26 scheduled airlines. and is the second largest airport by land area in the United States.
DFW sits on 17,000 acres. That's larger than the island Manhattan.
We knew they had an issue with an old terminal that had been here for 30 years. So we met with DFW, numerous times just to hear them out on their problem case.
The high sea gates were gates that were built as temporary gates for 9 months.
But it was supposed to be there just for a little bit to kind of help with capacity, and it stayed there for decades.
Those gates lasted 30 plus years. The reason being is because they became so pivotal to the hubbing operation of American Airlines. The time had come in December of 2019 to demo them because from a safety perspective, they were no longer conducive to all the applicable codes. It is akin to an open heart surgery by taking out 5 gates that are the heart of the hubbing operation.
So we have a long history of working with DFW, and we knew from talking to them that they were really interested in doing prefab construction.
Prior to the Terminal C High Sea Gates project, the Walsh Group had begun an in-house study and initiative to develop an accelerated concourse delivery system that leveraged our large-scale accelerated bridge construction technology.
The high sea terminal locations is constrained on 4 sides. A unitized approach empowered us to work around these limitations efficiently and safely while maintaining the highest levels of quality. The overall design is made of 6 major prefabricated modules built at an off-site location and 3 sections of conventional stick-built construction where the existing terminal building connects to the modules, at the center where the concourse turns, as well as at the end. They are clad off-site and finished with metal panels, glass curtain wall, roofing, and concrete slabs before they are transported on self-propelled modular transporters, or SPMTs, approximately 1.5 miles across the active taxiway and runway, including 2 90-degree turns, and then under the Skylink to the actual building site. Once the modules arrive at the building site, they need to be jacked up 8 feet into place, and then the final support columns are poured. When complete, the modules form an 80,000 square foot new concourse.
So one of the biggest challenges for the Walsh Group in terms of transporting the modules across the airfield was that there were no best practices for us to reference. There was no guidebook. So we had to create our own.
We spent a lot of time with our partners, PGAL and the engineers, going through calculations before we turned in the RFP that said, yes, this can be done.
We told the owner that doing it modularly would save time. Now we have to prove it.
We had a height restriction, we had a width restriction. That was a big challenge, and then trying to figure out how we were going to connect them structurally.
We had to coordinate with the Skylink as well to make sure that they were okay with our processes, because we were working within only several inches of the Skylink structure above us.
Building it on foundations 4 foot above ground, it produced a safety aspect for our guys, that they weren't working in the air.
We must have measured this thing countless of times just to make sure that everything lined up from the curtain wall to the steel.
Coming to work for Walsh Construction, I thought I had seen everything, but I had never seen an airport terminal built modularly.
This project at DFW tonight is a first of its kind. We're going to move these modules across the airfield and put them into place and save months on the construction schedule.
Convoy is clear and ready to roll.
Stage fright for everyone. I remember calling on my phone to Dan Walsh back in Chicago and said, well, this is either going to be a huge success tonight or we're going to look really bad in the paper tomorrow. airport got dark and the runway shut down and everyone got behind the modules, Cled. You were there, I was there, our friends were there, and we walked behind them as they moved 1.5 miles from where they were built to where they were going to sit. It was an awesome night.
Are we going to damage the airfield with moving 300 tons across the airport? All these things were thought through.
I see this 85 by 85 monstrosity cross the runway.
Everything was going great. We got to the Skylink. I looked over at Khaled, he looked over at me, we looked over at Thomas. I said, this is gonna fit, right? We had inches to spare underneath the air train.
5 inches to be exact.
Everyone shook their head, and there it went. It snuck right under it like a limbo stick. We knew, with all the engineering and all the studying and everything we had done, that this job would be a success.
There was no issues, windows lined up perfectly, there was no warping.
The last module went so fast because at that point the welders knew exactly what to do.
When we moved the modules, it was exactly as planned, 6 times. That's a testament to PGAL, Henderson Rogers, and of course my team here. We made it all happen.
As the mover jacked down, the final welds were being made, we shook our hands and we thanked all our workers, everyone who had made this possible. I remember texting Khaled and saying, we did it. We made history.
The feel when you get into that terminal, you would never, ever in a million years know that it was built off-site, it was transported across an airport, and then stitched together.
We can apply the modular construction method to any type of construction. We can use this for healthcare, we can use this for commercial high-rise, we can use this for multi-use. Really, any type of building construction can be turned over with unitized modular construction methods.
It's been an incredibly innovative project with world-class engineering and construction.
This is the model of what the future terminals will look like, not just at DFW, but across the entire globe.
DFW is an enormous economic engine for the Dallas-Fort Worth region. We drive about $40 billion of economic activity every year. And we view ourselves as an integrator or a collaborator to bring all the different aspects of travel together. So the airlines, the airport, the federal agencies, and all of our partners.
In 2017, DFW metro area was the largest growing metro area in the entire US. In terms of our passenger growth, we're expected to go from 69 million passengers in 2018 to more than 80 million within the next 5 years. So growth is definitely a significant hurdle to overcome because with growth comes the competition on resources, whether it be natural resources or physical resources such as our transportation infrastructure.
People are at the center of our success here at DFW Airport. And so our goal is to create an environment that is safe, that's diverse and inclusive, that's productive for our employees. And we also want our employees to be healthy. We think that that's the primary way that our employees are going to bring all of their discretionary effort to work and all their talents to contribute to the success of our airport.
Well, I think it's important to understand what carbon neutrality means in an airport. Because many people would say, how could an airport be carbon neutral when you have thousands of airplanes landing and taking off every day? And how airports measure their carbon footprint is on what we control. And the two biggest drivers that has allowed us to be the largest airport in the world in terms of carbon neutrality, and we think it's pretty astounding that the largest airport in Texas actually is purchasing 100% of their power through wind generation. Number two is the amount of vehicles on the airport. And I would say that every airport in the world has far too many buses. We've been able to reduce the amount of buses. We have a wonderful train link to all the terminals, but we still have buses, and one of the aspects of that is all of the buses are compressed gas, but more importantly, we are now moving to renewable natural gas for our bus vehicles, which further reduces the carbon footprint.
The UN Sustainable Development Goals were put in place to allow us a framework to show our commitment to addressing these serious issues that are affecting our world. We see that the ability to align our strategic initiatives with those goals shows that the organization is making a serious commitment on advancing those goals.
It starts with a strategic plan, and many of the UN Sustainability Development Goals are part of that strategic plan. We have the complete support and backing of our board of directors because it costs money. You've got to make investments to continue down this path and to make progress.
And for the first time, we included a sustainability metric, which was CO2 emissions per passenger goal. Our initial goal was to reduce our CO2 emissions by 2020 by 15%. And we achieved that 2 years ahead of schedule. And as such, we've been able to drive a more efficient operations and offset the impact of our growth and reduce our emissions per passenger.
At the airport, we have various programs that we've put in over the years. We have a health and wellness program, and over 96% of our employees participate in that program. And what we're trying to do is to help our employees make good life choices. And that means providing programs that make the healthy choices the easiest choice. We also have a medical health clinic that's both are free to our employees. And so our employees can go get a flu shot there, they can get their annual physical there, they can receive health services at no cost to them.
Partners are really important to us on this journey because we learn from them. We create an opportunity where they can gain some exposure. So we just entered into an agreement with the National Renewable Energy Lab. We're also partnering with private industry. One of the innovative opportunities, innovative achievements we've had is installing smart dynamic glass in the airport, which automatically tints, which drives down cooling demand, which drives down our energy costs. Also, customers love it because they become more comfortable. And then also we're looking from an innovation standpoint on deploying sensors and beacons throughout the airport So we have real-time data on not only our energy use, but it could be our lighting, it could be our water usage, so that we can make the appropriate investments to drive more efficiency in those lanes as well.
Some of the actions that we're taking, we have a multi-pronged approach to this. First, we work with young kids. We believe that inspiring kids to be interested in science is critically important, and start teaching them how to use science to solve real-world problems. One of the other things that we're doing is be part of the Alliance to Save Energy's 50 by 50 Commission. The Commission is a bipartisan effort to create policy recommendations to modernize and upgrade our transportation infrastructure. They set an ambitious goal of meeting 2050 mobility needs with 50% of the energy used in 2016.
The employee resource groups provide an opportunity and a bit of a safe environment for diverse employees to develop their leadership skills. And we've seen many of them actually be promoted into other higher level positions as a result of that. We set annual goals, and we have done that for many years. So when there is work that needs to be done and we're going to contract out, we actually look at, are there small, disadvantaged, women-owned, minority companies who are available to do that work. And then we set a goal, for example, that 30% of that contract is going to be performed by a company in this category.
Sustainability is becoming more and more of an expectation of our customers. It's becoming more and more of our expectation of our employees. And again, we look at it as not only an expectation that we need to meet, but a responsibility. And since 2010, we've actually reduced our energy costs by $35 million. So while we are proud of the achievements and we think it's the right thing to do, it's also very important to note that it's good business. But we also realize we have to drive value from a cost perspective, and to be able to reduce our utility costs at the same time by tens of millions of dollars makes our airport more efficient, makes it more attractive for more airlines, and allows more air service for our customers.
Hi, good morning. Hi, good morning. May I help you? Hi, good morning. May I help you?
Good morning.
What's your flight number?
178.
And you're headed to Charlotte?
Yes, ma'am.
Flight 3285, Fish Report.
You need to get on, go up a level of the escalator to the Skyline train. You're leaving out of E as in Edward, 22B.
Thank you, ma'am.
Behind you is TGI Fridays. It's at A14, or you could go the other direction and you could go to Papacitos, for instance, and have a nice sit-down meal there. People ask me anything from where do I get my rent car to what's my gate to where can I eat, sit down and eat something, so whatever, that's what we're here for.
This country was forged in part by sacrifice, and once again we're called to step up. We hope you'll continue to stay informed and stay engaged as we follow this journey together. I'm Lester Holt, and for all my colleagues at NBC, take care.